Thank you very much for keeping your dials on Joy 99.7 FM, Love 99.5, and to over a dozen affiliate stations across the country. And for those of you listening to us on the internet and also on television, also by BSTV, channel 421. Thank you all very much. Now, let's take some of your comments that have come in as far as the matters that we have been discussing are concerned. Now, Kwame Sapong Esiedu says, if you can't forgive your mother, you can't work with the aged. What sort of moot logic is this? Firstly, you accept the mother may be at fault. Then you go on to prescribe how she should manage her pain and upset following this transgression. Who made parliamentarians overseers of our private relationship? Okay, he's got some more to say, but I'll skip the rest of that. Then Abeku Jankwansa says, Clara, I like your analysis on Newsfile this morning. Please don't allow your opponent to affect your conclusions. Oh. He started well, but in my view, he should boldly state his conclusions based on his excellent analysis, as you do. I am confident he will start doing that before the show ends.
I'll leave it to him.
He says, from my layman perspective, because some alleged crimes weren't prosecuted, doesn't stop the state from prosecuting other alleged crimes. Leaders must uphold the law in full and not in some circumstances. Then you say that, okay, Kwame again on Otiko. Let's move on to something else. Then Frederick Larson says, please remind the NDC man, Isaac Adongo, that somewhere in the law, 6 months of the national service period is mandated to be served in our military. Okay, so by virtue of that, you're asking questions. Who has done that? Well, I didn't do military service training when I did my national service. I know almost all of us didn't do. All right, okay. Maybe we do not know. Maybe there's another law that the national service people know, by which they determine that they will cut the service from 2 years to 1 year, and to also exempt the military training thing. Now, let's get some messages on the other issues that have been discussed, particularly the vice presidential villa and so on. This one is from Prince Living. He says, something, I did not do national service because I wasn't in Ghana. Gender Minister Designate, Otiko Officer Jaba. Okay, we have heard that one. But it ought to be clarified that she says that even though she finished the program at the UDS, there were problems with her results. So as we said, she doesn't have her results because there were some reconciliation things that were supposed to have been done. Francis Danso says, 7 billion Ghana unaccounted for, a whopping $13.9 million on Vif's house. If the NDC has succeeded in getting JDM elected, all banks in Ghana would have collapsed and depositors' funds would have been lost because of the monumental looting of Ghana, because the monumental looting of Ghana would have continued unabated. Thank God we voted for a relatively incorruptible president. Relatively incorruptible president. Bob Baifa says, it is a shame that young people in this country debate issues based on their political affiliation, but not looking at issues with that objective eye. Where are we going as a country? You have to defend MPP or NDC at all costs. MPP referring to Otiko, MPP referring to Otibles, and then NDC referring to Otiko.
They all have Oti.
Okay, yes, they all have Oti. Augustine Jemfi says, we need a democratic revolution party to turn things around. Then Diamond Ashon said, undisclosed, misinformed, and underinformed all points to one thing. The NDC were not truthful in reporting the state of the economy to Ghanaians. Then Frederick Akwesi Kuma says that let the minority not waste our precious time. They should clear Madam Otiko Jaba for her to have some peace of mind. After all, Kujeto Ablakwa was cleared to be minister. Okay, I wish that you had more comments on the other matters rather than it's all Otiko throughout. Okay, thank you for all of those messages that you have been sending in. We have very limited time to go. Let's see what more we can do with the issues that we have tabled for discussion. So now let's look at the matters of transition still. We are told of okay. Nana Kumia hands me a summary of the unfunded expenditure requirements for 2017, and this is a piece of paper, and a piece of paper that is sourced to Ministry of Finance, January 2017.
It's the breakdown of the 7 billion.
Right, and it confirms the total amount of the 7 billion. Over here is 7,053,859,288. It comprises of, number one, unpaid 2016 programmed arrears. Number two, outstanding payments, including statutory funds. Number three, LCs due in 2017, LCs, letters of credit. Number five, outstanding claims. Number six, land compensation. Number seven, judgment debts. Number eight, subscription and contributions. Number nine, that's the subtotal. And number 10, total critical payments. And number 11, the total payments themselves. So this morning, we have on this show been able to confirm for you positively, in the absence of any other documents, we have been able to confirm to you the $13.9 million for the Vice President's building, as alleged by Dr. Baumia. And then we are confirming to you also the 7 billion that Baumia says was not disclosed. So that's it for now.
Can I make a comment?
Benjamin Osei Jamira in Edinburgh in the UK says it is very mind-boggling and preposterous how the NDC have started acting just a month into opposition. Where in the Constitution does it specify that if you don't do your national service or speak to your mom, you cannot serve Mother Ghana? Otiko was confident and she stood by her words, and that is the kind of sincerity we want in leaders. From Enyam Achu in Ho West, he says Madam Otiko is very brave and has shown sense of patriotism. How could funds made for the development of Northern region be misappropriated under the watch of a president who is also a Northerner, and he could not punish the perpetrators, but rather lenient in dealing with them, and the minority with their create, loot, and share syndrome think Madam Otiko and the likes objective-minded Northerners should be singing praises of the ex-president Mahama for harm caused them. They should be ashamed of themselves. Otiko has said it all. Mustafa Alima Zanga in Boku says the truism of falsity of any allegation is either by investigation or by swearing. Honorable Muntaka has vindicated himself by swearing by Allah and as a Muslim. We welcome his stance. We are patiently waiting for Ayarga to also prove his claim by swearing by Allah. If I may ask, what happens if a member of parliament is found to have injured the reputation of parliament? We can't wait to have a by-election in Boku. Wow. Well, if you are found guilty to have committed contempt of parliament as a member of parliament, the sanctions include you being expelled from that house. But I can assure you, if that is what it comes to, contempt, you know what we say in this country, don't punish for it, just exact some commitment. You know, yeah, caution and exact some commitment. Right. Ibrahim Kopa in Tamale says it is unnecessary and trivial for the minority to use the personal relationship with Madam Otiko and her mother as the basis to disapprove her. Gabi Ameyao in Suyani says, I completed college and entered the university for my degree. I didn't do national service because I was already teaching. Have I breached the law? You seem to have breached the law, my brother. Ni Anang Sumang in London says, I find the posturing and behavior of the minority in parliament very petty. John Mahama, and he is not infallible. If the minority is there to do the bidding of the former president, their constituents will be questioning them in 2020. Kwesi Akofo says Madam Otiko will be passed by a majority decision with or without the support of the minority. Parliament's vetting committee is not, quote, a messy chamber, unquote. You should be sourcing this to Atachia so that you are not accused of plagiarism. Atachia says that the Supreme Court was not a messy chamber, where nominees will be compelled to retract and apologize for comments made which some people feel offended by. Okay, thank you for those messages that you have sent in. Now, there are issues also that have come up. As you know, there have been some sacking, so to speak, at the GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Yofi Grants takes over from Mawena Treba. You also may know that we have the Chief Executive Officer of the, okay, forget about the Ghana Cocoa Board matters. NCA. Yes, NCA matters arising. But I'd like us to look at this one first, about the Kofi Adam's house and the seizure of 5 cars. We are told of 15 AK-47 wielding soldiers who went there and ransacked his house and took away 5 cars. Some people have come forward to suggest the NPP's, is it General Secretary?
I think the assistant, Lawyer
Obri Boahing has come forward to say categorically that they were stolen cars and that they are in the process of retrieving all of such cars. We have also now been giving a statement issued by the Chief of Staff saying that there are some government vehicles that cannot be accounted for, and there's a task force made of police, made of military, made of BNI, who are going, DVLA officials who are going around to retrieve those cars. What do you say about the manner in which they went to Kofi Adam's house? Nana Kumia. Of course, the Minister for Security has apologized.
Yeah, thank you, Samson. This citizen vigilante has become a feature of our political transitions in the Fourth Republic. I don't know to the extent to which it happened in 2001, but in 2009, we all saw the extent to which it happened. Virtually a regime of terror was unleashed on members of the NPP who had just left office. You have even the ex-president Kufuor being driven away from his office at Reach. You had even the flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo's cars being seized on the streets of Opera Square. And numerous cases, even private citizens driving cars on the streets at Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra were brutalized. that in 2024 or thereabouts, it doesn't happen. We must put a stop to it. I am happy that the current government seems to be keenly aware of the implications of citizen vigilante, and steps are being taken to ensure that it stops. We all remember the president-elect, Nana Akufo-Addo, in his very first public statement as the president-elect, was at pains to tell NPP supporters and every Ghanaian that even in your jubilation, be restrained, be modest, don't engage in teasing, don't engage in provocation of your political opponents who have just been defeated. He went on to say that don't go and take somebody's property, don't go and harass somebody physically because they've lost elections. So right from the get-go, political leadership was keenly aware and statements were made to try and limit this citizen vigilante. In the instant case of Kofi Adams, by the way, I didn't know my good brother Kofi Adams was that wealthy. It was quite strange to find out that he was able to procure 2 luxury V8 cars in last year. And I had no idea that he was that wealthy. But be that as it may, in the instant case of Kofi Adams, the National Security Minister has ordered for the vehicles to be returned. He has issued an apology to Kofi Adams. He has said that the lawful processes would be resorted to. A task force has been set up.
That's a clear admission of wrong. So why are you seeking to rationalize what has happened?
I'm saying that this is an improvement over the political transition in 2001 and in 2009. It's an improvement on what happened. That the official reaction from the president-elect himself making the statement in his first commentary to the country, and then in the instant case of Kofi Adams, the actions that have been taken by the National Security Minister himself to have the cars returned, apologize to Kofi Adams, and setting up an official team to be engaged with identifying and retrieving possible state assets, including cars that are alleged or suspected to be misappropriated. It is these suspicions that fuel the citizen vigilante.
Is your understanding that it is not this task force that went there, but it is a different group?
The task force has come about as a result of this Kofi Adams raid.
The statement issued by the Chief of Staff is dated the 3rd of February.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's clear that officialdom is taking action to limit this citizen vigilante. And it's a vast improvement on what we had. In 2009, people were actually killed at Agbogloshi in Accra. Okay. And up to today, nobody has accounted
let's hear Isaac.
Nana Akufo-Addo had his car seized, and for 4 months.
He has a difficulty calling lawlessness. He says citizen vigilante.
Yes. Yes, I think I have a concern with the smuggling of documents that I have serious suspicions to, and you referring to them as original documents that put to rest the VP house and
with a caveat.
Yes, and I'm saying that because
unless
that document,
I
reviewed that document. It doesn't even have bills of quantities. It just has some pictures, so you can't even tell how they got the figures. And he has submitted such a document
that was manufactured.
Yes, and you have just accepted it and agreed that a whole $13 million project, $14 million project that he claims. That is the nature of the document. No bill of quantities, nothing. I think we have to come again.
That's your view. I accept it. Like I said,
you can accept it, but I challenge
all
it.
These two.
I can review them because I am not going to accept them.
Subject to
contrary
evidence.
I don't trust. Besides that, we are talking about 7 billion, and all we get is this. I mean, on pay 2016 program arrears. Program arrears cannot be unbudgeted. Now, you talk about outstanding payment, including statutory funds. Of what and what department?
So you didn't disclose.
No, listen, I'm coming. You have to give us details. You can't say that. You say outstanding claims. On what?
You know what? We have moved on.
Yes, we have moved on, but these are serious matters. You scan them, and it's all over the place.
We are in the next discussion.
This is the kind of document.
We are in the next discussion
this cannot be. There must be
what is going on, seizure of vehicles.
I agree, but I'm challenging that it doesn't put to rest the issue.
Thank you. So let's move on.
You are in government. Is this a Ministry of Finance document? How can you bring this document?
move to somebody else to discuss
we didn't even discuss the
seizures.
Yes, I think the seizure, he's saying that, I need it. He's saying that there's an improvement.
He came on the program to molest
the improvement is that the acting chairman of the party says they are protecting state properties.
Mills said the same thing.
And so what was wrong yesterday is right today. And that is the improvement. The improvement is that
No.
the improvement is that vigilantes have been empowered by the acting chairman of the party to protect state properties.
The ministry has
and this is the result.
No.
But
let him make his point. Sorry. I cannot be pointing to him every step of the way, every second. No, it's not fair.
That is what your chairman said. And that has emboldened them to continue up to this state as if we are in a state of coup d'etat.
Do you have some cards that you recorded?
What is it? Even your statement you brought, you said LC's due in 2017. You haven't told us for what?
If you have cards that are the please go and return.
You haven't told me LC's due for 2017. You haven't told us.
Should I move on to someone else to discuss?
He's not allowing me to talk. Because he said that that's the improvement.
No, this is not fair, please.
Okay, good.
No, let somebody go. Let somebody go.
All right. So Clara, what do you say about that? About 15 men allegedly wielding AK-47s going to the gentleman's house. And I understand when they asked for the keys to some of the cars, there was a bit of delay, and they decided by themselves that they would break in or somehow and pick certain keys, and some of the cars, they even tried to break into them. And as a result of that, now, this is what we have. The chief of staff says that they have set up a committee comprising the police, the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Bureau of National Investigations, the Driver and Vehicle License Authority, and persons from the Office of the President. They are giving out a number that if you know that some state asset is being used unlawfully by ex-government appointees, call this number. 029-901-2238 is 029-901-2238, and the task force will go there and seize those assets. Retrieval of assets, yes.
Samson, I would say that we've come very far in our democracy. We have to remember that now we are a shining star in Africa, for the rest of Africa in terms of democracy. We are also a role model. The issue then is this what we want others to model themselves on? Definitely not. Our constitution protects the privacy of people's property and their homes. So no, there should be no place in our democracy for people to be able to trespass into another person's house on suspicion, because if you say somebody has stolen vehicles, that is your opinion. Until a court has declared that the vehicle is a stolen vehicle, you cannot make your personal conclusion that somebody is in possession of a stolen vehicle, and then based on your personal conclusion, you proceed to take action and even demand whatever access. So that, of course, I'm happy that the minister in charge of national security has apologized for it. I just hope that this doesn't continue, because this is an embarrassment to all of us. We are a shining star, so we shouldn't be embarrassing ourselves in this manner. We should continue to be the shining star and the role model that we are for the rest of Africa.
Interesting. If you are involved in any agricultural activity and you're looking for fertilizer, the best on the market now for you to use is ACAP Compost Fertilizer. It's available in all leading agro-input dealers and distributors across the country. If you're looking for roofing tiles, and I mean stone-coated roofing tiles, what is affordable, what is durable, which is trendy, and which has gone through technology, advanced technology, Fair Roof is what we have for you. Now, you can find them at number 65, Derby Avenue on the Children's Hospital Road. They just enter the NHIS building, or their sales office branch at Old Weja Barrier, Accra West. Look for White Temple Agencies Limited and get Fair Roof. You can also install solar power today from the world's leading brand, Victron Energy. They install both off-grid solar and hybrid solar systems for residential and commercial users. You can reduce your ECG bills by up to 90%. They offer 5 years warranty on their products, 1 year warranty on their batteries. You can call them 054 1123 430 or 020 700 2645. You can visit them, their showroom at number 10 Abaka Road, Tesano, first floor, same building with Zuzu Restaurant. You can also email them at Tino Solutions, info@tinosolutions.com. ProSecure Tea is a specially formulated health drink that improves any problem you have at all with urination. Frequent urination during the day and night, delayed urination, straining during urination, urgency to urinate, interruption of the urine flow, dribbling of urine after urination. ProSecure from Medimosis Prostate Center is located at Adenta Barrier, Tema, Ajekojo, or Ahinima Kokobeng in Kumasi. You can call 020-81 40 66 8 or 0244 06 844 7. And join Joy Prime and Alisa Hotel to celebrate real love this Valentine from Monday the 6th of February to Monday the 13th at 7 p.m. Valentine Chronicles kicks off on Joy Prime with sensational interviews with celebrity couples and singles every day. Call into Valentine Chronicles or visit Joy Prime on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to share your love notes to loved ones. Participate in the love activities to win fantastic gifts for yourself and your partner on Valentine Chronicles, and join at the Alisa Hotel, Northridge at 5 p.m. to crown it all on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, for an unforgettable experience at the Joy Prime Night Out. Experience Valentine like never before, only with Joy Prime. Joy Prime, real entertainment. Now, what do you say, Yao, about this seizure?
Thank you very much. I think we need to remind ourselves that we have accepted that we will be ruled by law, order, and also we will comply with provisions of our laws, and especially the Constitution. And so you cannot take the law into your own hands. I think the actions of these persons will appear to be what they have done. And we have to be careful that otherwise other people with criminal intent will take advantage, undue advantage, and do so. However, I will refer to what I call my favorite constitutional provision, Article 41, which says the exercise and enjoyment of rights and freedoms is inseparable from the performance of duties and obligations, and accordingly, it shall be the duty of every citizen, F, to protect and preserve public property and expose and combat misuse and waste of public funds and property. This is our duty, but you can only do so in accordance with law, not by resort to the so-called concept of vigilante. We should realize that when there is a change of government from one particular person, which is what I see, and not from a party to another party, from one particular person to another, it doesn't mean that there is coup d'etat. And so we should realize that at the end of the day, the president, the new president, can even choose persons from any other political groupings or religious groupings to join him to perform the executive function. But of course, we need to also look at the other side. Because of this whole thing of our party is not in power or our party is going out, people also engage in some acts that will in a way also constrain the new government. And so as we are talking about how to comport ourselves as citizens, it cuts across both those leaving office and those who are now entering and their supporters. There should be no circumstance or no reason why you should just enter into somebody's house, invade his privacy in this manner. Even where a person has engaged in an unlawful act, he still has his right.
But yeah, what does this tell you about our systems? That the state doesn't know its vehicles that are not available presently. It doesn't know its asset. And in fact, in the statement, Madame Fremont Paré is saying that the Office of the Chief of Staff is informed of various state assets, not only vehicles, including landed properties and vehicles, which are yet to be handed over to government by individuals contrary to law. And this is what he's calling on the public. The general public is also hereby encouraged to provide information. What is this?
Yes,
the state doesn't know where to find its own, assets. It has to use general public. How difficult is it to confirm that this vehicle is state vehicle? Then you move in and take it as that. You don't just go and start it and then later come and apologize.
I'll tell you why. We are always very good at establishing laws, passing acts of fact. This Presidential Transition Act was supposed to be the beginning of the end of all these problems. Section 6(4) says the original and 5 other copies of the handing over notes shall be presented to the Administrator General appointed under Section 8(2) not later than 30 days before the date of the presidential election.
Are you not fatigued referring to this law?
Oh, well, I'm saying that if this had been done and had been done in accordance with the law, by now, I'm sure but it's clear that it wasn't complied with. So we pass these laws and then we just leave them. There's no punishment attached, and people continue to engage in such acts, one concealment or non-disclosure. The effect really is that we are not even aware. And the president is a trustee of the assets of the state. How can a trustee not be aware after 1 month or so of being vested with the right as a trustee, not being aware of the very subject matter of the trust deed? It is very problematic. And so if we will not comply with laws, then what is the point in passing these laws? And I think it's important that the call to citizens to furnish this information is important, but as citizens we should know how the constraints of on the performance of this function. But just an aside, the letter was issued yesterday and it's still Flagstaff House. I thought they said the name has changed.
Well, they say the name has changed in the mind, but not on the paper yet. That's what we have always seen. Flagstaff House. Now, let me also announce to you that those who make what I wear, Latida, as you know, always when it gets to Valentine, they have very special stuff for you. So this time round, there's going to be a 40% discount from now until the end of February. That's the Valentine promo as far as Latida is concerned. 40% discount from now until the end of February. All you have to do is call any of these lines, 020 433 6444, 020 433 6444, or 054 3233933. You can actually locate them at Kwashiman behind the Bintu complex on the N1 motorway. Latida, be in vogue. So for the whole of February, that's what they are offering for you, 40% discount on anything African wear that you are looking for. They show you the very best. Clara, what would you say in 30 seconds should be the solution that ends the state in the first place having to issue a statement like this, that I have properties and assets, I don't know where they are, help me find them?
Of course, there are public databases, so I think the necessary searches would have to be made. In fact, this case, you can just ask for them to provide the necessary data on the state assets. We have the Lands Commission. The Lands Commission should have all the information as to which one is state land and which one is not state land.
Right.
If it is about vehicles, we have the DVLA.
Right.
So we have the necessary public institutions that should be able to provide information. And then, as they added, if the public has any other extra information that they give or they feel strongly about, they can provide it for it to be investigated.
Okay, so when I see somebody driving a car, I'm not too sure whether the car he bought it by himself.
Provide the information.
That's what we are going to do. Now, I'm told that we are likely to speak to somebody on the phone line, so I'm coming to you briefly to get some views. But let me read this text message before I get sanctioned. It is sent in by a man from my home in my village. He's the assemblyman. And he says, the minority said so many things against the competent and incorruptible President Nana Akufo-Addo. I wish Nana Akufo-Addo Now, in the vetting process, are they being held accountable for some of these things? Is that what we are supposed to be doing at the vetting? And this is coming from the Assemblyman for the Gambibigo area, Honorable Ayimbila. Oh, thank you for your message. Right. Okay, now let's speak to Nana Obri-Boaheng. Nana Obri-Boaheng is supposed to be the Deputy Secretary of the NPP, General Secretary of the NPP. He's the one who has been categorical that these are stolen vehicles and they will go after all of them. Nana Obri-Boaheng, good morning and welcome to Newsfile.
Good morning to you.
Right. Yeah, so Leonard, we understand that you have unimpeachable evidence that what is going on is the right thing that has to go on.
First time is not on our side. So I'll be very brief.
Yes.
You see, ordinarily, it has not been my conduct to phone in and then contribute in a program like this. But the mere fact that you mentioned my name, yes. You see, first, it is not correct that 15 armed soldiers or policemen went to Kofi Adam's house.
Okay.
That's very, very important. Two, there's an unimpeachable information is that the first time they went there was on Saturday, and 12 vehicles have been parked at Kofi Adam's house.
How many?
12 vehicles.
Okay.
12 vehicles, Samson. Then they reported to the police at the Gulf City Police. So the arrangement was that the police will monitor the movement of those vehicles till the following Monday. On Monday, when they went there, they were left with only 5 vehicles. Only 5 vehicles. And that was why they took away the 5 vehicles. In the fullness of time, Samson, we will give a comprehensive details about all these things. But
this is the General Secretary of the NDC. Deputy, is he? No, the National Organizer. This is sorry. Hold on 1 minute for me. 1 second. Kofi Adams is the National Organizer of the NDC. Is it so what shall I say? Strange. Strange that you will have 12 vehicles parked in his house?
That is not it at all. That is not it at all. You see, I came into the matter when Adams, and then the former president were making uncomplimentary comments about the NPP as a party. That was where I came in.
Okay.
I am not with the CID. I'm not with the National Security.
Okay.
I'm not with the police.
Okay.
But when they make uncomplimentary comments about the conduct of the NPP as a party, trying to run down the party, that was where I came into this matter. And I started collecting information about these vehicles.
Okay.
I am saying that in the fullness of time, we will unravel all these things for the whole world to know.
I see. Thank you very much, Nana Obri-Boaheng. And thank you very much, Nana Obri-Boaheng. This is where we end the show. But I may have to say briefly that the matters he's commenting about and the matters he's commenting about now and the manner in which he's doing about it, I am a bit conflicted in that because I'm being consulted about them as a lawyer in my private capacity. So let me put that one out there. Thank you very much. My guests in the studio have been Yao Opong. Yao Opong is a legal practitioner and he teaches the law at the Central University. Also, Clara Berry Kasati also teaches the law and also practices the law, teaches at Gimpa Law School. Isaac Adongo is MP for Bolga Central and member Finance Committee of Parliament. He's still debating certain documents and their authenticity. And then Nana Akumia is Communications Director, New Patriotic Party. Hoping that the next time we empanel this program, if Nana Akumia is part of it, there will be a new title. Have a good afternoon. I'm Samson Labiayeni.